I got this '07 BMW 328 that came in on the hook. It would start and run, but it would not accelerate. So I looked at the fault codes, had 2 pages, well, a page and a half. What I focused in on was the most recent fail. They're all highlighted there. So I had BSD components, alternator, coolant pump, etc. Those are not gonna prevent me from, starting the car and the car running and accelerating. So I looked at what would, and that's gonna be that Valvetronic issue there. So I see power supply, output, open circuit. So that's where I start, because I know from experience that if there's an issue there, that car, sometimes it will not start. It'll turn over, but it will not run properly. So that's what I did here. Go over to the wiring diagram. So I look at how it's wired into the DME, power and ground outputs, and what goes into the DME for that operation. So working backwards, I see the relay and I see the fuse. Now that's a 40 amp fuse. It's terminal 30 though. It always has power. So what I did, there isn't going to be power there now because I pulled the battery, but I found out what it was. But when I went to that fuse there, that's the fuse. No voltage. Then the relay's down in there. I don't have to even check that. But when you work backwards, that power comes from this terminal 30 supply. There's 2 of them there. So the small one there, both of these go back, run under the car. There's a separation point here, but it's inside here. So what I found, now I've pulled the battery, they literally just threw this battery in, set it on top of that little pad, but as a result, look what it did. It smashed that terminal 30. So we may have other issues because that's voltage straight down, but a little hot mess down there. But that's what we're working with. This here is not correct. That's just prone to break. That should not be like that because it's preventing that battery from going into that spot, which is probably why they said to hell with this, just throw this thing in there. But this is what happens when people who just don't care, they don't take any pride in their work. It's just, throw this battery in here and put it down the road. This is what happens. So on the tow truck, you got that expense. And now we got to replace that little harness and the time involved for that. So all this could have been avoided had somebody just did it right. So this is some of the things that we deal with here. I do my best to do things right, fix them one time. Sometimes when you get cars like this where people have had too many hands on them that don't know what they're doing, and then you put yourself in the mix. So I do very little on these kind of cars. I'm gonna put this one down the road, but this is not my kind of car that I want to work on when I see that this is the kind of hands that have touched it. But I hope this helps somebody out who runs into this problem.